After severe reductions in the cattle population on St. Kitts, the Department of Agriculture launched a new campaign against a tropical bond tick that causes a serious skin disease on infected animals. On Tuesday, 4th February, livestock farmers on St. Kitts attended the launch of an anti-dermatophilosis campaign in a ceremony held at the Department of Agriculture at Lac Reed. According to Livestock Production Officer Jeffrey Berry, major outbreaks of dermatophilosis in cattle occurred in the 1980s and mid-1990s. At that time, thousands of cattle were killed, reducing the livestock from 5,000 to approximately 500 heads of cattle. In recent years, however, a recovery effort brought the stock back to 3,000 heads. But the disease is back and a new round of infection is spreading among the livestock. Mr. Berry explains the situation on the ground.
Unfortunately, we have seen a resurgence of the tropical bond tick and the associated disease, but it's coming back with a resistance for both treatment, both for the ticks and for the disease itself. Our cattle population came back to about 3,000 head of recent. However, last year, our farmers reported that over 650 cattle died from that disease. Of course, when we look at farming, we look at it as a business. You can either put your money in the bank and gather interest, or we call what you have your bank on hoof. The animals or your dollars and cents, it's on hoof. And because of the fear of the disease and the animals dying, farmers opted to slaughter the animals, and maybe quite rightfully so. So when we look at an animal production point of view, we are looking at reduce in numbers in terms of increasing output. The animal population is going down. The sweet part is that today we are launching this project, and we're asking you, please don't take this project for granted. Well over $500,000 would be spent on this project, including vertical, vehicle, antibiotics, labor. We are asking for the full cooperation of all the farmers. We would be having a team going out to treat the animals that are infected with the skin disease. So those will be treated with antibiotics. Those that do not have the disease, we would still be treating them with the vertical.
Berry urged farmers to give their full cooperation for the twice-weekly treatment of all cattle, goats, and sheep. The treatment will be done for a period of 6 months in the first instance. Officials of the Department of Agriculture are hoping for a quick stabilization of the current rate of losses as the new campaign gets underway. Glenn Batt for SKN Newsline.
Police are investigating a boating accident that occurred at sea sometime after 7 p.m. on February 9, 2020. Investigations so far have revealed that a dinghy, which had 2 occupants, and the MV Caribbean Explorer 2 collided in the Potato Bay area. The St. Kitts Nevis Coast Guard was called and responded. Austin Edwards, a native of Ohio, USA, who resides in St. Kitts, was taken to the JNF hospital by members of the Emergency Medical Service. He is warded in a stable condition. Timothy Doran of New York experienced difficulties at sea and drowned. He was pronounced dead by the district medical doctor. Both men were in the dinghy. The occupants of the MV Caribbean Explorer 2 were unharmed. Police investigations into the matter are ongoing. The Maritime Affairs Department will also carry out an investigation into the incident, police said in a statement. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline. With the explosions of fireworks, the long-anticipated list of artists was accepted by applause from patrons attending the reveal party last Friday. The reveal party was briefly addressed by Minister of Tourism Lindsey Grant, under whose portfolio the music festival is coordinated. Also addressing the party patrons were Ambassador Janelle Powell, who heads the Artist Selections Committee, and Val Henry, the head of marketing for the St. Kitts Music Festival. With the well-known Sugar Bowl entertaining the audience, the full roster was announced. Shen Sia, Bunji Garlin and Fayon Lyons, Mr. Killer, Patrice Roberts, Asa Banton, Lyrical, Collision Band, Nyla Blackman, and Voice. On Friday night, June the 26th, Jimmy Cliff, Wizkid, Future, Beres Hammond, Anthony B, and 313. And then on Saturday, the 27th of June, Gladys Knight, Jenny Aiko, Chronix, Coffee, and Vanell Powell. The music festival period will begin with the now customary welcome reception and escape fete. The curtains come down on the festival with a White Sands party at Carambola at South Friars Bay Beach. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline.
The Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis is said to have benefited greatly from the Citizenship by Investment program, but is the system being abused? Around St. Kitts, one will find several high-profile but abandoned real estate CBI projects that have become eyesores on the landscape. Other projects have experienced lengthy construction periods as well as numerous delays in their opening. In recent times, St. Kitts lost its extensive development, and the much-touted Ritz-Carlton Resort is nearly a memory. Clearly, despite the rebranding of the CBI program, something is impeding the proper and timely development of CBI-related projects, as well as the delivery of benefits to the people of St. Kitts. SKN Newsline spoke with the well-known Dwyer Astafan, a socio-political commentator, businessman, and a former Minister of Tourism, to get his understanding of the ailment of the CBI program in St. Kitts and Nevis. Mr. Astafan explained that the real estate option of the CBI program is illegally being entered for thousands of dollars less than the legally required US $400,000. Astafan believes strongly that this practice is robbing the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, while a few persons are financially benefiting from the unlawful practices.
So that whereas you have the Sustainable Growth Fund, which has a minimum investment of $150,000 for a single applicant and $195,000 for a family of 4. More people would gravitate towards the real estate option, whose price really is $400,000 in law, but whose price in fact, because of the practices that are taking place, is $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. Plus the administrative fees, plus the agency fees and that sort of thing. But the cost of investing in real estate is hundreds of thousands of dollars less than it should be under the law, and it is substantially less than if you invest in the Sustainable Growth Fund. Now, to add another layer of concern to it, a number of these real estate developments get to issue shares in the development company, and in exchange for the share you become part. It's an investment that qualifies you to get citizenship, but they have buyback, just like they have leaseback provisions in the agreements, which means that the buyer really buys nothing and spends very little, $35,000, $40,000 here, administrative fees, agency fees, and so forth. Gets a passport, really has nothing to trade back, and the country is cheated because the bricks and mortar and all of these other things are not there. Our farmers don't have the market that they would have had this thing been done properly. Carpenters, tradesmen, you see, and again another layer of concern is the amount of foreign workers who are brought in here. I mean, we had an embarrassing example. I think it was on Christmas Day when a number of Chinese workers at the Ramada went on strike and blocked the government main road in St. Kitts. Chinese workers. And if you go on these sites, 80-90% or more of the workers are non-local. So the benefits to the country are minimal, but people are making money out of it illegally and corruptly. And so it has been a race to the bottom. Rather than, when you're hearing all of the talk about the platinum brand in the industry, with the greatest of respect, the platinum brand is really selling like a donkey cart brand, because the prices are below the legal requirements, which makes them illegal, and officials know what is going on and nothing is being done about it.
Mr. Asfan believes the CBI unit and the CBI industry of St. Kitts and Nevis needs to be subjected to an independent audit. Glenn Bart for SKN Newsline.
At Nagico, the things that matter to you matter to us. Like your boat when you're at sea and you get away from everything. Your home and the security of your daughter's things. And the car that you've had for too long, but after all these years, you just can't let go. At Nagico, we're about much more than just insurance. We're about the big things and the small things that mean everything.
You care about what goes on your skin. You care about the ingredients, organic and natural products. We have Rituals brand, Victoria's Secret, and much more. Discover the collection of prestige natural beauty. There are too many chemicals. Time to change. Go to Lucky's Duty Free at King's Pavilion Hotel on Bay Road, Bastia. Treat yourself as a princess. Also, Bath and Body Works coming soon. Check us out on Facebook. Open hours are from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Give us a call, 466-7059. Lucky's Duty Free.
Quality Diagnostic Laboratory, your newest partner in your healthcare. We offer the latest in on-island clinical laboratory testing. A comprehensive range of blood tests, urine tests, stool and other testing such as cholesterol and sugar testing, as well as hormone, kidney and liver functions, and many more. Quality Diagnostic Laboratory is located at the corner of Keon Street and Fines Avenue, opposite the Greenlands pasture. Our opening hours from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday are designed with you in mind. We are also open on Saturdays, 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. for your further convenience. Call or contact us at 465-6657 or email us at info@qualitydiagnosticlab.com. Quality Diagnostic Laboratory. Excellence in performance.
Banners, commercial signs, decal printing, canvas prints, license plates, posters. We at Multigraphics are dedicated to providing quality products and service to our customers. Our team takes pride in the craftsmanship and is passionate about its work. Every job, large or small, is important. Most of our customers come to us through referrals. That's because our number one priority is service. We serve a wide variety of customers, such as restaurants, retail stores, manufacturers, trucking companies, and many more. Our capabilities include design, production, and installation. How can we help? We are located at Bird Rock at the Woods Right compound. Call us at 869-763-1511 or 784-491-7599. Multigraphics.
Hey, scan this. Boy, what that stand for?
We are St. Kitts and Nevis Waste Disposals.
Oh, so it's either rent the big bin for when people cleaning the yard and construction project and so?
Yes, we do that.
Okay, so what about septic tank and grease trap cleanings?
Yes, we do that.
Them portable toilet rental?
Yes, we do that.
So what about if I want to rent a sexy bar trailer for like VIP events or my outdoors wedding?
Yes, we do that.
Residential garbage pickup?
Yes, we do that.
Okay. So if my office have a bunch of documents we need shredded?
Yes, we do that.
Boy, I talking to you and you know, but when you answer me, I hearing like 10 people.
That's just the strength of our team working for you. Watch now. Call us at 662-3329 and we'll come and do that for you.
Like us on Facebook.
John L. Powell and Lindsay Grant, partners of Grant & Powell Law Firm, have both denied any wrongdoing as it relates to the court matter involving the firm and Tanzania Tanzil, a client who has alleged misappropriation of funds. In an interview on Freedom Radio Thursday, both Mr. Grant, a government minister, and Mr. Powell both denied any wrongdoing and said the default judgment handed down in October last year did not implicate them in any misappropriation of funds to their client. Mr. Grant explains.
Neither Lindsay Grant nor Jonelle Powell owes the claimant, who is Tanzil, or any other person any $460,000.
Or any amount.
Or any amount. I want to say, first of all, that Tanzil, and I'm going to give the facts, very brief facts, and very simplistic facts, so we could understand. Tanzil sent to the law firm of Grant and Powell some $485,000 US. He sent that matter to do three things. One, to acquire his citizenship, because he's an economic citizen. Secondly, to purchase a condominium at the Royal St. Kitts Hotel. Yeah? And thirdly, to get his passport as a consequence of all that. That's what he did. We paid out, and this is very important, Junie, because I just told you he paid us $485,000, yes? We paid out on his behalf a total of $525,000, 500. And if you do the maths, we paid out over an amount of $45,000 on his behalf. And so in simple layman terms, he owes us $45,000. That will come out in court, and I don't want to complicate the matter. Those were his instructions to us to acquire his citizenship. We got that. His instruction was to get a condominium at Royal St. Kitts Hotel. He is in possession of that. His instruction was to get him his passport. He is also in possession of that.
Mr. Grant said he believes this matter is being pushed as a political ploy by the legal team of Mr. Tanzil.
A political ploy by Mr. Tanzil's legal team to sully our good names in this political season.
Well, it's the
and why I said that?
well.
And why I said that? Because when we go to the order, well, the judgment of the court dated the October 28th, I think it is,
Right.
in paragraph 27, it says, it was clear that the court was satisfied that the claimant was not entitled to the order requiring them to return to him the sum of $460,000.
Right.
And
what time is this? From the
This is the very same judgment, the same judgment that you've just raised.
And why is Ventus saying that? Ventus is saying that because Ventus well knows that the $460,000
was never missing.
Was never missing. It's in the condo. The $460,000 was taken up and paid over for the condo which he has.
And
so that is why Ventus says it here, and I'll read it again. Ventus at paragraph 27. It was clear that the court was satisfied that the claimant was not entitled to the order requiring the return to him of the sum of $460,000. Can't be clearer than that.
Mr. Powell concurred with Mr. Grant that the judgment does not implicate them of misappropriation of their client's funds.
Paragraph 37. For the reasons explained above, I make the following orders. 1. The application to set aside the default judgment is hereby refused. 2. The claimant shall file and serve witness statements, submissions, and authorities in respect of an assessment of damages within 21 days. 3. The defendants, if interested in participating in the assessment of damages, shall file and serve Form 31 within 7 days of service by the claimant. 4. Submissions shall be also emailed, and that just speaks about how to file the submissions. 5. The hearing of the assessment of damages shall take place on the 12th of December. And 6. Cost to the claimant in the sum of $750 to be paid by the defendants. Junie, those are the 6 orders of the court in this judgment. There is absolutely no way in there that it speaks to any misappropriation or any other untoward activity or behavior in relation to us. It does not attach any guilt.
Grant and Powell on Wednesday lost an application to appeal due to what Mr. Powell deemed procedural irregularities. He said the correct procedure has now been followed in filing an appeal and the matter should be heard before the appeal court. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline.
The legal framework for the setting up of a medicinal cannabis authority was passed into law during the 12th February sitting of the National Assembly. The authority will guide the process of access to medicinal cannabis as an alternative to established forms of medical treatment. It will employ a licensing scheme for the cultivation of medical marijuana, its production, possession, and use. The legislation also grants authority for a medical doctor to prescribe a treatment of marijuana after going through a period of specialized training. However, Attorney General Vincent Barron emphasized that this new legislation has not legalized marijuana.
This cannabis bill is not a license to our society. This is not to legalize and free up the weed. It is for weed to be regulated. And the regulations that we put in place here will be strict regulations. We have had a softening of our attitudes in our country because of the studies done and an understanding that many of our citizens were being unfairly treated. That you can have small amounts of weed, of marijuana, for your own personal use. You should do so at your home. You should do so at a licensed place. If it is that you're moved by your religious beliefs, you're a member of the Rastafari brethren, you can do so in your own tabernacles. And there are no limits, we say, of how you can use those. You will not be interfered with. But you should not be on the streets, in public places, blowing smoke in people's face.
However, changes in other legislation to come will increase the legal possession limit from 15 grams to 56 grams of marijuana. Glenn Bart for SKN Newsline.
Political activist Jason Thomas is throwing his hat into the political ring for the upcoming general elections. Popularly known as Grubberment, Mr. Thomas declared on an interview on Let's Talk St. Kitts and Nevis on Voice of the Caribbean Radio that he will be contesting St. Christopher No. 4 as an independent candidate under the party known as LIP, Liberalized Independent Party. Mr. Thomas said both Team Unity and the Labour Party have failed constituency number 4, and he is confident he will be a worthy alternative to both parties.
Young people are not foolish. I mean, the generation has changed. The political dimension has changed. These are gone are the days when persons would have said, hey, I'm going to the polls, I'm going to vote for Pam because my grandparents taught me about, somebody in Pam. Or I'm going to vote for Labour because my grandparents taught me about Blatcher and how good Blatcher were in his days. Gone are those days. Young people think for themselves.
Known to be a supporter of the Labour Party, Mr. Thomas was critical of the party's leadership of keeping the old guard while rebranding as Next Gen SKN.
So you're not quite denounced your support for the Labour Party. You just don't support this Labour Party under the current leadership.
I don't. I'm not going to say I don't support the Labour Party under the current leadership. Dr. Douglas and I, we are very close. We've got a relationship from decades. What I don't like about the next gen concept is the fact that the old guards are still standing. And when I refer to the old guards, they know who they are. It doesn't necessarily have to mean persons who are at the top of, persons like, for instance, Dr. Douglas, who is holding a seat, having been 65, 64 years of age, etc. Marcella having been 62 years, etc. I'm not referring to that specifically. I'm referring to the many persons that were that held key positions in the Labour Party the Labour administration back then, they are still waiting in line to return.
Let's talk St. Kitts and Nevis airs on Voice of the Caribbean Radio at voiceofthecaribbean.net on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. with rebroadcast on Wednesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. I am Jacinta Teixeira for SK Newsline.
Some livestock farmers on St. Kitts are up in arms with the Agriculture Department for not taking more proactive steps to address the dermatophilosis disease that ravaged the livestock population in St. Kitts. The disease caused by the tropical bond tick was widespread among cattle and goat, with some farmers reporting huge losses. On Freedom Radio's Issues program recently, some of the farmers came on the air to express their grouse.
My name is Floyd Lee from Upper Monkhill St. Peters. I'm a goat farmer and cow farmer. Between goats, I lose roughly between me and my son, about 80 something go head of goat, the whole flock. The pen door just over the farm, swinging left, right, center, cross and back. The cows, between me and he, roughly about 20 head of cows. So everything dead, because the area that I in is very affected.
I had 31 cattle, and after the disease hit me so hard, I lost 26. I had a few, I had to sell them out in order to get something.
Garrett Lewis, better known to many as Humble G, is blaming Chief Veterinarian at the Agriculture Department, Dr. Tracy Challenger, for not taking more proactive steps to address the problem.
Asked Dr. Challenger for help. I asked her for help and she refused to give me help. So from since then and going, I've been losing animals up to now, and she refused to help me properly, just thinking about money, and that is not right.
The Agriculture Department and the Minister of Agriculture, Eugene Hamilton, blamed the scarceness of Batical, a dip and spray used by farmers to address the tick that causes the disease, as one of the challenges in adequately addressing the problem. The government found another source for Batical, which proved to be more costly, but the cost was subsidized by the government to make it available to farmers. However, Mr. Lewis believes there are other more effective ways to address the disease other than using Batical.
We just can't be carrying on with this Batical alone and Batical alone. We need combinations. And I heard the minister said in the St. Peter's meeting that he will follow up with Miguel ideas. And up to now, no one has approached Miguel. They're not doing about it because there's no collaboration with Ross. And they need to start to do it because Batical alone is not substantial. It just won't work. Now I think I've said me 2 pence. And I think I get the idea across to the general public. We need combinations. So if Dr. Challenger and any agricultural personnel listening, y'all need to stop this Batical. Y'all need to follow up and let people help who are willing to help. Y'all need to use different combination, lot of combination together, not just one by itself, because we've been using Batical since 1998 or whenever. And this crisis with the ticks actually started in 1978. And you've been doing assessments since then. So you want to tell me you don't know how to combat these ticks yet? And it's very easy because all the solution is here. I have different studies here, studies from 1998, studies from 2014, studies from 2010, and information is there showing you how to deal with the problem.
Meanwhile, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Alistair Edwards, who is on sick leave, called in on the program to address the farmers' concerns.
The problem was the suppliers did not have Batical. The suppliers did not have Batical. We went almost the end of the earth to get Batical. Eventually, we got Batical to come into this island at about $400 EC per liter. We sold it to the farmers for $150, a subsidized price from the government. Yet, I'm hearing that the Department of Agriculture did nothing. A subsidy price of how much? $250? I guess that equates to nothing.
The Department of Agriculture recently launched a new campaign against the tropical bond tick. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline.
Why read the news when you can watch it? Introducing SKN Newsline, the Federation's only online TV news platform. SKN Newsline is an online TV news platform covering news in St. Kitts and Nevis. We provide a daily and accurate news on the big stories and stories of interest that other media outlets have ignored. You can watch SKN Newsline on our website, www.sknnewsline.com, or Facebook page at www.fb.com/SKN Newsline, and also subscribe to our SKN Newsline YouTube channel. SKN Newsline, your world, your news.
KVK Enterprises at Boyd's Housing Development, Trinity Parish, St. Kitts. For all your t-shirt printing, banners and signs, promotional products, shipping, motivational speeches, computer classes, agro-processing, art and craft, and desktop publishing. Come to KVK Enterprises at Boyd's Housing Development, Trinity, St. Kitts. Telephone 661-0118 or 765-7270. Email drkhrystus@kvklives.com or visit www.kvklives.com. KVK Enterprises. Now you can have SKN Newsline on the go. Introducing SKN Newsline Android mobile app. Search SKN Newsline in the Google Play Store. Download the app free and stay up to date with TV news in St. Kitts and Nevis in the palm of your hands. With this app, you can watch your news reports, watch our live news feed on SKN Newsline TV, engage with us and other app users in the chat room, look at our special features, send us news tips, and call us directly. It's news on the go. The SKN Newsline Android mobile app. Download it free today. The St. Kitts and Nevis Football Association, SKN Newsline, and Voice of the Caribbean Radio present the SKNFA Match of the Week and Sunday Night Football. 2 days of comprehensive live football coverage. The SKNFA Match of the Week on Saturday nights at 8 p.m. and Sunday Night Football at 7 p.m. on the Facebook pages of SKN Newsline and the SKNFA, and live radio commentary on Voice of the Caribbean Radio at voiceofthecaribbean.net. Stay tuned to our halftime and post-game shows with analysis and interviews. It's live football on radio and online video stream. The SKNFA Match of the Week on Saturdays at 8 p.m. and Sunday Night Football at 7 p.m. Only on SKN Newsline and Voice of the Caribbean Radio, taking football to another level. The Ministry of Education is cautioning students against playing the Jump Trip Challenge, which is reportedly being practiced in other countries and has caused serious harm to participants. Chief Education Officer is Daryl Lloyd.
The Ministry of Education is cognizant of the alarming videos of the very dangerous Jump Trip Challenge circulating on social media. These videos depict individuals regionally and internationally, especially children, taking part in a very unwise, unsafe, and potentially life-threatening exercise. This has raised grave concerns as victims regionally and internationally experienced significant physical damage and even death. We are therefore seeking the assistance of all citizens, especially parents, school administrators, and teachers, to warn and vehemently discourage others, especially students, from taking part in the Jump Trip Challenge. It is not a funny game or prank. Students need to be free from this harm and fear of harm within our schools. We are making a strong appeal to parents and other responsible adults, as well as our youth, to promote the security of others and to be responsible with their use of social media. The ministry is appealing especially to all within schools to speak out against the Jump Trip Challenge and to endeavor to ensure that this challenge does not take place within or around our school compounds and environs. Involvement in this game or challenge is not to be accommodated in our schools. Your assistance is needed to ensure that this information is widely communicated. Thanks in anticipation of your cooperation as we endeavor to ensure the physical and emotional safety of all of our students.
Reportedly, some children have died or seriously injured performing the challenge. Up to news time, SK Newsline is not aware of any such incidents occurring in St. Kitts and Nevis. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline. The opposition St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party hosted a protest march Friday afternoon to call on Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris to call elections.
So long goodbye as we bring in a new change here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Too much corruption of Harris, too much nepotism, too much corruption, too much victimization. Man and man a team from their own climate. They should be in jail. That's where they should be. In jail. They should be in 1840 instead of talking about they're going to become candidates in the election. All of them should be in jail. That is why we say, change the change. 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 Young people are saying, change the change. And I stand in solidarity with the young people of St. Kitts and Nevis as they cry for change here in St. Kitts and Nevis. We want a change. We want a change. Harris must go. 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 Harris must go.
On Thursday night, at a public meeting in St. Paul's, opposition leader Dr. Denzel Douglas announced that former Deputy Prime Minister and a former ally of the Prime Minister, Sam Conda, has returned to the Labour Party. Mr. Conda left the Labour Party and joined with Dr. Harris to form the Team Unity Coalition together with the People's Action Movement. After Team Unity was elected to office, Mr. Conda was appointed an ambassador to the United Nations. However, in recent years, Conda has fallen out with the People's Labour Party, the party he and Dr. Harris formed, and which is part of the coalition government. It is not certain if Mr. Conda resigned his position as ambassador.
Because you see, tonight from here in St. Paul, I can say with pride, Heal I! Love I! Heal I! Love I! The man come back. What you think? Labor is good all the time. All the time, labor is good.
According to pundits, though elections are constitutionally due in May, the Prime Minister, based on the Constitution, could call elections no later than August. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline. The suspect, who was being brought by police in relation to a hit-and-run incident, has been arrested and charged. The incident occurred along the Bay Road in the vicinity of the roundabout at Port Zante on February 14th. Sahara Bosu Ugbo of McKnight was left with minor injuries after she was struck by a scooter while crossing the street. She was treated at the JNF hospital and discharged. The police at the traffic department have charged 23-year-old Sylvester Keynes of Nevis Street for the offenses of careless driving, failing to report a traffic accident within 24 hours, and failing to stop at the said accident. He was charged on February 20th, 2020, and has since been released on bail. He was further informed that he will receive a summons for the offenses of driving a vehicle without a valid license, driving a vehicle without insurance, and driving an unregistered vehicle. The scooter used in the incident is currently in police custody. Head of the Traffic Department, Superintendent Trevor Mills, is urging motorists to adhere to all traffic laws and to drive cautiously. He said, quote, "The Traffic Department is an integral part of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. We will continue to enforce the traffic laws and ensure that persons who break laws are brought to justice. I take this opportunity to ask all motorists to drive with due care and caution, acknowledge speed limits, exercise patience, extend road courtesy, and to have consideration for other road users. The life you save might just be your own." End quote. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline. The Nevis Reformation Party has officially nominated Mrs. Cleone Stapleton Simmons for the March 5th by-elections, while the Concerned Citizens Movement nominated Keith Scarborough to contest the seat. Mrs. Stapleton Simmons was nominated by her brother, Mr. Colin Terence Stapleton of Cotton Ground, and Miss Jennifer Jeffers of Cotton Ground on nomination day, Tuesday, at the Cotton Ground Community Center. The candidate said she is looking forward to the upcoming elections.
On behalf of the Nevis Reformation Party, I look forward to the upcoming election in order to continue to return St. Thomas's to the Nevis Reformation Party. I think it is indeed a very great accomplishment, so it is a good feeling. As you know, the whole mission is really to encourage more women to get involved in active politics.
Mr. Scarborough was officially nominated by Miss Shoya Matthew of Jessop's Village and Dr. Denzel Webb of Cotton Ground, before Mrs. Sharila Nisbet, the returning officer for the electoral district of Nevis 5 at the Cotton Ground Community Center.
With my nomination, it gives the good people of St. Thomas's an opportunity to vote for someone who will go into government. You know, like I have said elsewhere, both of the candidates will want to see St. Thomas's do well, you know, go from strength to strength, improve in its development. But the difference is that one would go into opposition if successful, and the other one go into government if successful. So it's a simple choice that the people of St. Thomas's really have. And I am feeling good, you know, I've been doing the legwork through the community, and the response has been positive thus far. And I'm hoping that come March 5th, that we will very well see St. Thomas's being represented in the Nevis Island administration.
This by-election is being held to replace long-serving Representative Mr. Joseph Parry, who retired from active politics at the close of the year. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline.